You see Ghana, you see Ghana, leave this one for them. I'm telling you the truth. Leave this one for them. I know we are doing competition, talking about jollof rice, which one is better. We talk about the music industry. Of course, even their own artists are saying that Nigerian music industry is better than theirs. We talk about currency. They had to dethrone two zeros for their currency to look like it's better than ours in Nigeria. Otherwise, if we just redeploy only 1 0 from our currency, you know what that means. Our currency will still be better than theirs. So, what about that? But when it comes to tourism, leave it for Ghana. Honestly speaking, when it comes to tourism, leave it for Ghana. Do you know what we're talking about? They have in Ghana cities are tourist attractions. I'm not even talking about their capital, Accra. When you go there, it's not. I'm not talking about infrastructure. I'm talking about places to go and see what is happening. Okay, Kumasi. Kumasi itself is in Ashanti region because in Ghana, regions are tourist attractions. The Ashanti region. Do you know that it's in Ghana that they have the only butterfly sanctuary in the entire West Africa? You know what butterfly sanctuary means? This is where you see thousands of butterflies. It's not the biggest in the world, but when it has to do with Africa, Ghana, tourism, just leave it for them. I mean, butterfly sanctuary where you see 400 species. I'm not talking about 400 butterflies, but species. That is to say, you see thousands of butterflies there, and butterfly lovers always go there. That is Bobri Butterfly Sanctuary. 400 different species amounting to thousands of butterflies. It's only in Ghana that you have butterfly sanctuary in the entire West Africa. You know, another thing with Ghana's tourism is that packaging also helps them. That you have something and you don't know how to package it well. People don't know that you have it. Look at that Cape Coast, for instance. Did you know Cape Coast Castle is one of the major tourist attractions in the entire Africa? Cape Coast Castle, which was built in 1843, thereabout, for trading in gold and timber, but was eventually converted by the British into slaveholding point. You know, Ghana was actually one of the darkest parts when it has to do with history of slavery in Africa. Ghana used to have assorted slaves. During the time of slave trade, Ghana was like China in technology now. When you go to China, you have specification of any product you want. If you want high quality, they give you. If you want low quality. That was the nature of Cape Coast when it had to do with slavery. You see, I talk about packaging. You know, in Nigeria, we actually have our own here. It's in Eket, Akwa Ibom State. They call it point of no return, a slave holding point too. And that one is even very strange because you see underwater rooms, something that looks like rooms, things that look like rooms underwater. I've been there, Eket. But packaging, when you go there, how many people do you see there? You know, you have a house where they keep slaves. You have history, point of no return. But then, because Ghana knows packaging when it has to do with tourism, they remain number one. You see, whenever we talk about tourism, you mention lakes. Every African country has lakes. So it's not even something special. You talk about caves. They have caves in Ghana too. Caves that are as strange as yours in Nigeria here. You talk about waterfall. Every African country has waterfall. Ghana has waterfall too. But I'm talking about special touch when it has to do with packaging, when it has to do with priority given to tourism. There are countries in Africa, even the name alone gives the image, gives the impression of tourism. There are countries, when you hear Kenya, the first impression is tourism because you talk about the Maasai tribe and a lot of things. Same goes to Ghana. When you hear Ghana, of course, they used to answer Gold Coast. So before you check the tourist attractions, because of that their name Gold Coast, what led to that name in the first place, before you even move around trying to appreciate that one, you see that tourism there is something else. Look at that Cape Coast Castle. I talked about that is a slaveholding point. If you go there today, you find out that I think it costs 80 cedis to just enter and see what is left of slavery, slave trade in those days. They pay 80 cedis now, which is about 8,000 naira. Ghana is different in Africa when it has to do with tourism, and they're making use of it well, very well. I'm telling you that, very, very well. They're making use of it. So please, Nigerians, when it has to do with competition, if it gets to tourism, leave it for Ghana.